Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to share this lovely crochet cable scarf pattern with you. It is a beginner friendly pattern using fake bobble stitches and fake cables. Not a single post stitch has been used in making this crochet scarf. Today I'll be showing you how to make it in a woman's size. If you want to make it in smaller sizes as well, don't forget to check out the free written pattern on my blog. I have left the link in the description box below. To make these lovely crochet cable scarf, I used Bernat Softy Chunky yarn, which is a size 6 super bulky yarn. You will need around 3 skeins or 270 yards of this yarn to make one scarf in adult size. Along with that, I used a 8mm or L crochet hook. So gather your supplies and let's get started. To begin, chain 142. The initial chain is a multiple of 7 plus 2, and it will give you a scarf that is around 70 inches long before adding your tassels. So go ahead and chain 142. I will be chaining a smaller multiple for the purpose of this video. So you go ahead and chain 142. To begin row 1, start with a half double crochet in the second chain from your hook. This is the first chain and this is the second. So yarn over and work a half double crochet into the second chain from your hook. Now go ahead and work a half double crochet in each chain across all the way to the end of your foundation chain. At the end of this row, you will have 141 half double crochet stitches. Keep working one half double crochet in each chain across. I'm now almost at the end of row 1 and I just have one chain to work into, so I will finish row 1 with a half double crochet in the very last chain. So that brings me to the end of row 1. Now to begin row 2, chain 1, turn your work. And this beginning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Now for this row, we won't be working into the stitches as usual. We're going to work into the third loop in front of your stitches. Third loop is a loop right here in the front of your work. These loops were left when we worked our half double crochet. So these are the loops in front of your work, and you will insert your hook into those loops and complete your half double crochet stitches. So these are the third loops in front of your work, and you're going to work your half double crochet stitches into those loops to leave the stitches free and create a ribbed line on your scarf. Now let's begin. Work a half double crochet into the third loop of the first half double crochet stitch. So insert your hook into that third loop after you yarn over and complete your first half double crochet stitch. Now find the third loop in front of the next half double crochet and work into that third loop. So we completed our second half double crochet into the third loop. Now look under the next stitch and you have your next third loop. Into that, work another half double crochet stitch. Keep working a half double crochet into each of the third loops in front of your work. To find the third loop, just look directly under your stitches. So go ahead and work a third loop all the way to the end of this row, and I will meet you at the very end of the row and show you how to end this row and start the next. I'm almost at the end of my row and I have 3 more stitches. 1, 2, and the slanting stitch is the very last one. So we should have 3 third loops to work into. So look under this stitch and work a half double crochet. This is third loop under this stitch. And now the last stitch is slanted, and in front of that is this third loop right here. So work your very last half double crochet into that third loop to complete row 2. Now again, you should have 141 stitches at the end of this row. Now to begin row 3, chain 1, turn your work, and this row is going to be a regular half double crochet row. So if you see, you can see the rib line left by working in the third loops. So now let's begin row 3 by working half double crochet stitches into each stitch across. We start by working a half double crochet in the very first stitch. Now work a half double crochet in each stitch across all the way to the end of this row. I'm almost at the end of row 3 and I have a few more stitches to work into. So I will complete the row by working a half double crochet into each of these remaining stitches. The last one is slanting, but I won't miss that. I will work into that as well, and our stitch count will stay constant at 141 stitches. Now to begin row 4, chain 1, turn your work. Now this row is again a row worked into the third loops of the half double crochet stitches. So work a half double crochet into the first third loop right here below the first stitch. And a half double crochet in the third loop of each stitch across all the way to the end. I like to fold my work a little so the free loops come on top, the third loop comes on top, and it's easy to work into it. But make sure you don't miss any, or you can always look under each of your stitches if you're finding it hard to identify your third loop. So go ahead and work a half double crochet in the third loop of each stitch across all the way to the end, and you should have 141 half double crochet stitches at the end of this row. I'm now almost at the end of row 4 and I have 2 more stitches left, 1 and 2, so I will have 2 third loops to work into to complete this row. And the last stitch is slanting and the third loop is right here. So go ahead and work a half double crochet into the very last third loop to complete row 4. Now to begin row 5, turn your work, chain 1, 1 single crochet in the first stitch, a triple crochet in the next stitch. To work a triple crochet, yarn over twice, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to complete your very tall triple crochet stitch. In the next stitch you have to work a single crochet. Before that, I want you to fold your triple crochet forward, push it forward like that, bring it down, and then work your single crochet into the next stitch. There is also another easier option. After I show you this a couple more times, I will show you that option as well. So if you find this hard, don't worry, there is another easier option. Now in the next stitch, work a triple. So we will be alternating between single crochet stitches and triple crochet stitches. So we just worked a single, now we're going to work a triple in the next. Yarn over twice, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to complete your triple crochet stitch. Now fold the triple forward like that. So your hook is very close to the next stitch. Insert into that stitch and complete a single crochet stitch. So that creates fake bobble stitches in front of our work. Now again, we'll work a triple in the next. Wrap the yarn around your hook twice, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to complete your triple. Fold it forwards like that. Bring your hook close to the next stitch, insert into that stitch and complete a single crochet. So that is one way to work your triple crochet stitches, and the other way is to just let the fake bobble form at the back of your work and then pull it up with your hook. So let's see how to do that. Now work a triple in the next, and without doing any folding, just work a single crochet in the next stitch. So now your bobble is at the back, push it forwards like that, and there you go. So that's another way to do it. Again, we'll do that a couple more times. Work your triple in the next stitch, and work a single crochet in the next. Work your single crochet tight, and now push the bobble formed at the back to the front like that. You can also use your hook for that, but I find it convenient to use my fingers. For some reason, I think it comes neater when I fold it to the front, and that's why I prefer that method. But if you find it very hard, this is definitely another option you can consider. So go ahead and complete working alternate triple and single crochet stitches all the way to the end of this row. You will end with a single crochet in the very last stitch. So keep working triple crochet stitches and single crochet stitches. I now have 3 stitches left. I just work a triple, so I will work a single crochet in the next, a triple crochet in the next, and end with a single crochet in the very last stitch, which will be slanting. So this brings me to the end of row 5, and you can see all the fake bubbles formed on your scarf. Fasten off at the end of row 5, because the next row will be worked on the same side as this bubble row. So we will now go to the beginning of this row after fastening off, and we will start row 6 right here, starting on top of the very first stitch of row 5. So slip stitch into the top of the first stitch of row 5, work a half double crochet into the first stitch, and work a half double crochet into each stitch across all the way to the end of this row. So this is a half double crochet row, and at the end you will have 141 half double crochet stitches. So go ahead and work a half double crochet in each stitch across all the way to the end, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I'm now almost at the end of my round, and I have worked on top of the last bobble, so I will work my very last half double crochet into the last stitch after that. So that completes row 6. Now to begin row 7, chain 1, turn your work, and we will work a half double crochet in the third loop of each stitch across all the way to the end of this row. Work into the third loop of the very first stitch and the third loop of each stitch across all the way to the end. I'm now almost at the end of my row, and if I look here, I have one more stitch left, which means I should have one more third loop to work into. So I'll look for that third loop under that stitch, which is this one, and then complete my very last half double crochet stitch. So this brings me to the end of row 7, and now to begin row 8, chain 1 and turn and work a half double crochet into the first stitch and each stitch across all the way to the end. So this is a regular half double crochet row, and at the end of the row you will have 141 half double crochet stitches again. I'm almost at the end of my row, and I'm going to complete the row by working a half double crochet in each stitch across. The last stitch is slanting and tight. I will be working into that as well and not missing it. So that completes my row 8. Now to begin row 9, chain 1, turn your work and work a half double crochet in the third loop of the first stitch and each stitch across all the way to the end of the row. So work a half double crochet in the third loop of the first stitch and half double crochet in the third loop of each stitch across all the way to the end of the row. I'm almost at the end of my 9th row, and I have 3 more stitches, so I will have 3 more third loops to work into to complete this row. So this is the last third loop, and that brings me to the end of row 9. Now the base fabric of your scarf is ready, and you have 2 ribbed lines and fake bobbles running in the middle. So now we will go ahead and start working cables in between these 2 ribbed lines. So you can go ahead and fasten off at that corner, leaving a tail. Now let's work our first cable between these 2 ribbed lines. So we will be starting in the very first stitch of the ribbed line here with a slip stitch. So the very first stitch is tiny and squished, so don't miss it. Into that we will work our first slip stitch. And chain 3 1, 2, and 3. And now count 4 stitches on the next ribbed line. The first one is squished, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the 4th stitch, work a slip stitch, chain 3 again. Now skip 6 stitches on the top rib line. If you pull this up, you can see that it's attached to this slip stitch, so skip the next 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the next stitch, work a slip stitch, chain 3, skip 6 stitches on this ribbed line, lift that and see which slip stitch it is attached to. It is attached to this one, so skip the 6 stitches after that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slip stitch to the next 7th stitch, chain 3 again, skip 6 stitches on top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the 7th, work a slip stitch, chain 3, skip 6 stitches on this ribbed line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, into the 7th, do your slip stitch, again skip 6 stitches on this line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 3, and slip stitch to the 7th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip those and slip stitch. So keep repeating that all the way until you have around 3 stitches left on this second ribbed line, and I'll come back and show you how to end the cable. I now have just 4 stitches left on the second ribbed line, so I will chain 3 again and slip stitch to the very last stitch on the top ribbed line to complete my first cable. And now you can go ahead and fasten off, leaving a long tail. So that brings you to the end of your first cable. So this is how the cable pattern looks. Now to work the second cable, rotate your scarf and work the same pattern of the first cable between these 2 ribbed lines, starting from the very first stitch right here at the top ribbed line. So go ahead and work just like you worked your first cable, and once you finish your second cable, fasten off, and I'll show you how to add the tassels. Now before we start adding the tassels, we will bring any tails that are on top of the scarf to the very edge, because we're going to blend that in when we make the tassels. So use a yarn needle and bring any tails which are not on the edge. These ones are already on the edge, so we don't have to do anything. This one is on the top after finishing the cable, so I will bring it to the back side and to the very edge like that, and I'll make a knot at the back because I don't want it to get tugged when I blend it in with the tassel. So I will make a knot at the back side like that to keep it in place. The rest of the tails look okay, and they all seem to come from the very edge, so I'm not going to fix any of those. Now let's go ahead and see how to make tassels. To make tassels, I'm using a small 5.5 inch hook and wrapping the yarn around it multiple times. You can even use a cardboard that is 5 3/4 inches wide and wrap multiple strands. We're trying to get multiple strands of the same length by doing this. You can wind more, but I'm stopping here. And now go ahead and cut along one end to get multiple strands of the same length. I now have a few strands which are of the same length. Now let's add it to the edge of our scarf. To add a tassel, first take one of the strands, fold it in the middle like that, and pull that fold through the edge of the scarf, and you will just grab the ends and pull through the loop. But since we have one extra strand here, I'm going to pull that together as well into the loop and gently tighten it. So that is our first one. Now take the next and attach it to the next point. Remember not to add too many or the edge of your scarf is going to widen out and you don't want that happening. Leave tiny gaps between each of the tassels and keep on adding tassels all the way to the edge, and wherever you have a stray strand like that, remember to pull that in as well. So go ahead and keep adding tassels until you cover the entire edge of the scarf. If you enjoyed working the scarf pattern with me, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press that bell icon to receive notifications when I post new patterns. Thank you so much for watching.